Let me tell you something, son. Most young men think women fall for words, the sweet talk, the compliments, the endless texting. But the truth? Women don't fall for what you say. They fall for what they feel, especially when you say nothing at all. There's a reason why some men can walk into a room, barely speak, and yet every woman's eyes follow them. That, my friend, is the quiet power of mystery. Before we go deeper, do something small that helps this message reach more men. Hit that like button right now. When you do, YouTube recognizes this as valuable and shows it to others who need this truth. And if you're ready to understand what makes women truly obsessed, not with your words, but your presence, subscribe now. Let's begin. 1. Silence isn't absence, it's energy. Most men think silence is weakness. They fear that if they stop talking, she'll lose interest. But psychology says otherwise. Women are emotionally wired to fill silence with imagination. When you're quiet, her mind starts spinning. What is he thinking? What does he feel? What will he do next? That curiosity becomes emotional tension. And tension is the root of attraction. The less you reveal, the more she invests trying to understand you. Remember, a man's silence doesn't push her away, it pulls her in. 2. Mystery activates her emotional brain. A woman's mind thrives on emotional puzzles. It's wired to seek meaning, to decode, to feel. When a man reveals everything too soon, there's nothing left to explore. But when he remains calm, grounded, and a little unreadable, her emotional brain stays alive. Psychologists call this intermittent reward, the unpredictable rush that keeps her wanting more. Every pause, every subtle glance, every unanswered text feeds that craving. Mystery isn't manipulation. It's mastery. 3. Mystery builds respect. A woman may enjoy a man who entertains her, but she respects the man she can't fully figure out. When you hold your silence with confidence, she senses depth. She feels there's more beneath the surface. And that triggers admiration. Because deep down, every woman wants a man who's in control of himself. A man who doesn't pour his emotions out like a child, but channels them with direction. Talk too much, and you're predictable. Say too little, and you're mysterious. But speak rarely, and with meaning, and you become unforgettable. 4. Silence creates emotional space. Every connection needs oxygen. And in relationships, oxygen comes from space. When you don't text constantly, when you let her miss you, you give her imagination room to breathe. And imagination always paints you in richer colors. She'll wonder where you are, what you're doing. If you're thinking of her, that wonder deepens attachment. Because longing doesn't grow in noise, it grows in absence. Remember, constant presence dulls desire. Mystery keeps it alive. 5. Real mystery comes from depth, not games. Don't get it twisted, son. Mystery isn't about playing hard to get or acting cold. That's immaturity. True mystery comes from having a life so rich, so full of purpose, that you don't need to explain yourself. You listen more than you speak. You act with intention. You don't chase attention. You command it by being centered. That's the kind of man women obsess over. Not because he hides, but because he's whole. 6. Silence shows strength under emotion. The real test of a man isn't in his calm moments. It's when everything shakes. When she's emotional, when she's testing your patience, when she's trying to provoke a reaction. Your silence becomes your armor. Psychology calls this emotional containment. A woman subconsciously tests to see if you can hold space for her storms. If you can stay grounded, breathe, and respond, not react. She feels something rare, safety. And safety builds trust. Trust builds obsession. Your silence in conflict says more than 1,000 words ever could. 7. Silence turns into emotional authority. When you speak less, your words carry weight. The fewer you use, the more power they hold. That's why when a quiet man speaks, people listen. In relationships, the same truth applies. Your silence teaches her your attention is earned, not given away. It creates polarity, the magnetic balance between your masculine restraint and her emotional expression. And that polarity keeps desire alive for years. Now listen closely. Women don't truly obsess over your looks, your money, or even your charm. They obsess over your energy, over how they feel when you walk away and say nothing, when your silence carries mystery, and your mystery carries depth. She feels something she can't explain. Don't fear silence. Don't fear space. Because silence isn't the absence of communication. It's the presence of control. And in a world drowning in noise, the quiet man stands alone. And he is unforgettable. If this message spoke to you, if you felt that shift inside, like this video right now so YouTube knows to share it with more men who need this. And subscribe, because the world doesn't need louder men. It needs quiet kings.